Hello, world. My name is Scott, or as I affectionately call myself, the Bitter Old Queen. Let me just say up front that my stories, experiences, and suggestions are anecdotal only, okay? This video is titled Toxic Coffee, and it's about my journey to find the least toxic cup of joe, okay? I didn't start drinking coffee until my 30s, and but I did drink tea up until that time and everything. But finally, then I started loving coffee, and I figured out it was black, no sugar. I love the bitterness and all that stuff. So, and we used to buy beans, and we used to grind our own beans, and I still love to buy coffee beans covered with chocolate. Delicious. So, but we had drip makers, for many, many years and a French press for blackouts or for backup, you know. And we also had a series of grinders, the little hand things you push down, and stuff like that. But over time they all died and everything. And then we got a really nice grinder. It was called a burr grinder, and we said, "Oh, this is great." We got our first one maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It died, and maybe a year or two ago we got the second one. So anyway, we love the way that ground the coffee, nice and fluffy, blah blah blah. Well, anyway, then I start watching this channel on here by a woman named Taryn Maria, Taryn Maria, and she woke me up to the plastics in our food and coffee and all kinds of things to improve your health. And boy, was it an education. Okay, I didn't know that coffee makers were basically made out of plastic all the way through, and your hot coffee touched it all the way through. I also didn't know that coffee filters had plastic in them too, and they don't even biodegrade, most of them. So after watching her channel and learning this, we went out, or I ordered from her website, from her channel, ordered this Farberware coffee pot. Okay, and we've been using this for more than a year now, I think, and makes terrific coffee. Okay, um, so we started making this coffee, and it's terrific. We love it. So then I'm all of a sudden I'm grinding coffee one day, and I realized in our nice snazzy little grinder here with this is where the thing goes. So, but if you look at this thing, it is all scuffed up and scratched up from where the little bits and shavings of plastics were ending up in our coffee. So I decided that this isn't what wasn't going to do. Okay. So anyway, my partner had kidney cancer about 8 years ago, and he just in May finished 18-month treatment for prostate cancer. So, and thank you, NYU Langone. They have saved our lives a couple times, both of us. So anyway, I am just glad we had the old-fashioned stainless steel coffee maker, but now it was about finding coffee that wasn't toxic. So um, I learned then, I think through Terrence's channel even, that the coffee ground in the factory or in the store, they have metal grinders in those, so you won't get plastic in that. Okay, so the thing about this coffee pot, I'm going to bring it over here now, is and pull it apart here. Uh, Whoops, that's the top of the filter. The whole thing is spring loaded on that thing. So, but this is the thing on the top, and then this is the basket. Okay, and then you have this long tube here thing and then the inside of it. Now the inside gets stained, and you can't get the stains out. I try. I wash the thing. I keep it clean, but it's stained. The stains aren't going to go away. They don't affect the taste of the coffee though. But anyway, that coffee maker will probably last me the rest of my life. So, but the sad part, when you think about it, is over the years, all these years, we have probably put 10 coffee makers in the landfill and probably almost as many grinders. Okay. And all the filters that we bought and all this other stuff. And to think that all of these things could have been causing us damage. Nobody knows for sure. I just don't think it's a good idea to consume plastics. But, that's just me. So there is the only flaw I would see in this coffee pot, and there are many different ones to choose from, but there are ones with the spout that come out down here and go up. This up here, when you pour, it puts through the grounds again. So it makes the coffee a little stronger and stuff. So if you want, you might want the one with the spout below, and there are different ones to choose from. So, um, but after the coffee cools down, we have 2 cups usually when it's hot, and then we unplug it, and then we cool it down, and we put it in either a pitcher like this that goes into the refrigerator for iced coffee, or I made extra because I was needed an empty coffee maker, or we put it in a jar on the kitchen counter, and then we have that the rest of the day. So, and I clean the coffee pot. I take Brillo and Comet and I scrub it at least once a week. I do like that, and then I give it just a dawn with a scrubber sponge, in between pots, and everything's fine. Everything tastes great. So. Um, and I bet there is some kind of industrial cleaner if you wanted to try and bring it back to new on the inside, but I'm not going to waste my time. So the thing is, too, you cannot submerge this thing in water. This is an element down here, so you have to not submerge that in water. Okay? And what it's either on, if it's plugged in, it's on, and if it's unplugged, it's off. There's no on off or anything. Taryn suggests putting it on a timer if you want. Um, it's I don't need to worry. Like I said, we have 2 cups. I unplug it, and then we put the rest of it away. But now, when it comes to the grinding and stuff like that, and just coffee in general, I want to keep it simple. Okay. When we buy coffee, I keep it in this original packaging until it will fit into a jar. I'm waiting to put it into this jar. I want to get a little more off the top of this because pouring coffee can make a mess. Okay. That's the one thing I love about this is the other thing we keep our coffee in. We buy regular coffee and then a flavored kind, at least one other kind. This is regular Joe Arabica. This is the organic. The non-organic is cheaper. But anyway, then we put it all in here. And how I do my coffee, I'm just going to say real quick. I take the lid off and I lay it right next to it. And then I put the thing here and then I scoop right into it. And it's right next to it, so I'm not getting coffee all over the counter. Okay, I'm a little bit of a neatnik that way. Okay, so here's another. Here are some flavored coffee. This is French vanilla, and this is what is this? This is chocolate hazelnut. So I usually have some kind of hazelnuts, French vanilla, usually at least one other kind in the mix too. So anyway, this tin is starting to show wear, and we don't put our coffee in the refrigerator or freezer. I know a lot of people like to do that. We just keep ours in the cupboard. And I want to change the tin though. When it starts to get rusty, it's starting to show signs of wear. So I'm looking for an amber vessel of some type, a jar that I can put it in. The amber will keep the light from degrading the coffee. So but if you grind your own coffee in the store, which you can do right in Trader Joe's, they have grinders. You go over it, open the coffee, grind it, and all that stuff. So, that's great. And you want to grind it as coarse as you can for a percolator like this. So, stopped grinding in the store. I just want to grab the packs. I do all the shopping and cleaning and everything for the 2 of us now. So I just have to keep life simple. But I do buy the organic, and only ground. We find the Trader Joe's brands are very fresh because the volume. They sell so much of it that. And some experts, though, they'll say, well, the percolators aren't as good, it's bitter and all that kind of stuff. But I really want a non-toxic cup of coffee. If the taste is, some people don't like it, oh well. But I don't seem to mind it at all. So all the pour over methods, though, are supposedly better tasting. So the thing is, I don't like the pour over stuff. You got to boil water and do all this stuff. I don't want to do that. I'm getting old and I can just see accidents happening and burns and all that stuff. I just want to keep it simple. Okay. They also have, we have a French press. This is really for blackouts or when our coffee maker used to break, which was all the time. So but then I noticed we got this one a while ago, but look at the plastic at the top there. So when you go to pour your coffee, you're pouring it through plastic. I would lift this up and pour it. I would try not to touch the plastic if it were me. So, but there are also Melita coffee makers. That's the funnel kind of like one. Those filters are non-toxic. If you want filters, if you want a filtered coffee and a pour over and this and that, um, there's also stainless steel pods for the K-cup makers. Now, I don't like K-cups. I never got it. I never understood why people didn't realize that this was toxic. But anyway, um, you're still putting your water in a plastic vessel with a heating element, and I just wouldn't use a K-cup machine. But if you have to, that would be the thing. That would be a lot less than using the pods, probably. For blackouts, though, uh, and there are things like there are these coffee singles that you can get, okay, or there are pour over pouches. They're little pouches that look like little shopping bags almost, and you put the coffee in. Hikers like them, campers, van lifers, because you can load them up and hike out with them, and then there's very little dispose of. You don't have to take like a jar of coffee or anything with you. And but you can buy a Bodum though, a French press, all metal, 100% stainless steel on Amazon right now if you want one, completely stainless steel. They also have the mocha pots or the espresso makers, the hexagon things. Those are $20 on Amazon, all metal. So, and they also have stainless steel percolators for as little as $25 on Amazon. And those two would be cool. Hey, if I realized, I might have bought that instead, but probably not. So anyway, in doing this video prep too, I realized that, we've been through two blackouts, and I'm lucky we always had ground coffee because I could have seen me with beans here. I would have been here with a hammer and a bag or something trying to grind up my beans. Oh, anyway. My final comments though about plastics are, I'm from I'm 62, so when I moved to New York in November of '82, Dennis had an 8-pack of soda in his kitchen in glass bottles, and everybody still drank their soda out of glass bottles. 2-liter bottles were just coming on the scene. Now, by the end of '83, a year later, there were almost no glass bottles left in the store. Everything was plastic, and one had to get used to drinking soda out of plastic, and it did take some time. And I will admit the coffee out of the percolator, it's a little different. It's a little more bitter. Just put a pinch of salt in it. It's better than that. Or if it's too strong, put a little water in it. Just water it down a bit. Okay? And because I'd rather do that than have toxic coffee. Okay? I also changed our coffee cups to glass because this coffee cups we were using, they the coffee would stain it, and then I figure if things are sinking into the stain, maybe things, or the glaze, maybe things are coming out. But glass is inert, and I don't have to worry about that. So I just decided, I went out and bought 14 of these coffee cups at a dollar store or whatever, a discount store. So we now have all those. So another thing too, what I got woken up to with Taryn was my partner has a bathroom cup that he's used from a set that I bought in the late '90s. And about 2 or 3 times a week until a year ago or so, that cup went through the dishwasher, exposed to the heat and all that stuff. And he has used that cup for all these years. So the cup is now in the garbage, and there is a glass cup in the bathroom. So anyway, and I feel terrible about that because who knows what that could have done. So, and I have never been a fan of plastic. When used to see everybody would have these plastic containers, and I had a few, but they were more for big like file storage and stuff like that. But when it came to smaller containers, I always liked the paper boxes that you'd buy at TJ Maxx or Marshalls or something like that, or Michaels or any of these places. I thought they looked better. You could buy different themed ones, and they look kind of nice. So, but so many people, their closets are full of these plastic boxes. Yep. So anyway, I put links to Taryn's channel in here, and it's very eye-opening, her channel about all kinds of toxins, and really advise you to get to know her channel. So it changed my life, and I wouldn't doubt if it saved me from a case or two of cancer, because I'm still young enough. Maybe I didn't get enough plastics in me yet. I don't know. But anyway, and I thought I didn't have much in my kitchen until I watched Taryn's channel, and then I realized that, oh my goodness, I had a lot more than I thought. So thank you, Taryn. The thing about Taryn too, there are other channels with the same kind of content, but she does it in a way, she addresses it in a diplomatic way because, honestly, this stuff makes me mad. You know, I want to get out the pitchforks and the torches and go after the politicians who have let this happen. Okay? She's a little bit more measured than me, so I really think you should listen to her on these matters. Okay? So anyway, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please take a look at my videos and podcasts and playlists and posts and all that kind of stuff too. And thank you for coming to court. You've been dismissed. And please, I hope you find a way to not have a toxic cup of coffee. Have a great night. Bye bye.